takes knight f5, looks pretty terminal. If I click 15 minute, yes, we got Naka. I'll play b3. Oh my God. Oh man. Okay, he's weakening his dark squares. I'm honouring him. He plays the Owens in the 5-minute video. If you see Naka on the sorry, the 3-minute, you know, the ICC Open, he was playing the Owens with white and black. Let's keep a grip on the dark squares. Now, I blame I don't blame anything. It's an absolute honour to play Naka on the 15-minute because it's a rare event. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here? H4, G3, double fianchetto, bishop c4. You can always play d5 to that. I think G3, a double fianchetto. You know, bishop c4, bishop. I don't think they're effective. Just a double fianchetto. Maybe even G4. It's too weakening, isn't it? G4. You can always spring a surprise later. If I play G4, I actually have no idea. Hang on, he's going to play E5. So if I play G4, it's just too loose thing. D4 I think is too loose thing. I think let him have a pawn on E4. So if I play G3, plays E5 later, bishop G2, let him have a pawn on E4. It could become a subject later of attack. I could later undermine the F5 pawn, which I guess will support it with G4. With G4 later. So I think G3. If I just castle here, I'll just let him play E4. Might be a good time to take on E5 though here. No, but I'm going to expose. If I take on E5, D4, is it? I don't know. I have no idea. Knight C3, D4, or taking on E5, D3. What to do here? If I what access paths? Diagonal. There's no H4, H5 here. I don't want to loosen G4. The rooks are just not doing anything in this position for both sides at the moment. So I take on E5, or I play D4. No, D4 is terrible. I want to keep this bishop open. What about the classic C3? If I ever play D3, am I in big trouble for knight D2? Or what about playing D4? So if he plays E4, knight D2, he's going to get knight to F5. Would that be a menace? Couldn't I later play C4, knight C3? Okay, let's go for D4. I'm probably going to regret this. Now he plays rook E8. The thing is, I'm going to expose E3. If I ever take and leave this E3 pawn, that would be a disaster. So I'm really confused here. What about knight C3 with the idea of a later E4 or even C4? What about C4? Would he just take and use the D3 square? I could try C4. Use D3, Queen B3. Alright, let's just do this. So it's a sort of, I don't know what it's called. There's a line in the Dutch where you play both F5 and C5. It's actually called line. I don't know what it's called. Okay, now knight D4. It looks a weird Nimzovich kind of concoction. So knight D4. So is he going to swamp me in the centre? Am I gonna already? I'm going to have to protect this bishop because c5 is threatened. I could take on d5 though. There's an opportunity because then c5 en passant. I'll take on d5 here. So knight c3 here. I can secure that knight with tempo. Isn't that okay? Isn't that cool? Then move the knight after. So knight c3, queen moves, knight e2, or even pawn sack it. I think I'll just play king h1, let him have, because that diagonal is just too good. c5, knight b5. If I just, in fact, d3, just offer a pawn sack. c5. What is he going to take? He takes. If I just offer that, no, he's not. If I just play king h1 here, isn't that a beautiful knight? Or just rook b1. Oh, let's just do this. Have the pawn. It's not interested. Okay. So knight e2 here, and he's got that d3, but I want to play d3 myself at some point. Knight b5, you can start chasing the knights. I think e2 or c2. c2 is too passive. I want to use the c4, knight a4, I want to target c5. I think knight e2, rook here, bishop there. So a3 or d3. I think rook. His knight b4 to d3 is threatened now. I think I've got to stop the knight coming to b4. It'd be embarrassing. That's a bit passive, isn't it? Queen c2. He's going to target that poor pawn soon, so I'm going to have to get ready to defend b3. I think knight a4, get rid of his dark square bishop. Okay, get this queen on diagonal. So queen c3. Okay, I think queen c3. Let's go to f6 if queen d3 later. So rook d1 here. Rook c1. Now do I use this one or this one? b4 is supported by the rook on b1. So this one, queen d2, queen f6, queen e2, queen e6. Anything better? d3 here, knight c1. What about rook d1? Or just queen f6. Queen f6 could be annoying. Or rook d1. Rook d1 for d3. Takes, knight c1, d2. Rook d1 might be the calmest. Then g4 later, knight g3. It takes knight g3, undermining the pawn chain. So I think I've done well to get rid of his bishop over there. Ah! No! Hang on. Okay, I don't want to lose. Oh no, hang on. The queen's yet. Queen f6. Queen e2, queen e6. Rook d2. The knight, he'd have to do something about the knight, so let's just go here for a sec. I think. Bishop b3. Hang on, bishop b3, rook b3, queen e2. Bishop b3, bishop b3. There's knight c1 there. Oh, queen takes b1. Knight c3, nope. If I just take it, take the queens off, I play for d3 after. Knight c1 and d3 or d4. You can double up rooks, again, use that pin. So queen f6, I don't think. Oh, queen b4, bishop b3, knight c3. Exchange sack's not that convincing. I really want to keep my queen on this diagonal. There's queen c6 there as well. Bishop d1. Taking and then b4. Takes on a3, I'll take on c5. I think taking and then b4. Takes on a3, take on c5, b5, knight c3. And c4. That's very, very passive. I'll lose on time at this rate anyway. I don't know what to do about bishop b3 here. Queen f6, bishop b3. I've got everything hanging. Whoops. I think that's the end of the game, actually. He's just attacking that knight. That's really embarrassing, isn't it? Horrible. Let's play for d3 anyway. Or knight d4. Okay, let's start playing. Just, I don't know, try and use some compensation. Knight d4. Try and get a pawn back. It's not going to be possible, is it? Try and play for d3. Try and get some life into the position. He shut down this bishop early on. There's no life in this position. So he's 2 pawns up. But I have got that d4 square. Okay, I've got the d4 square for a moment. And I've got potential for d3. If I can just win 1 pawn back. But that's very unlikely. But I've got d3 maybe on the cards. He's got knight d6 after. There's bishop c4 here. I'm actually attacking the rook at the moment. So he moves, he does rook d3, knight d4. I'll be attacking bishop and knight. Take. Maybe I can win 1 pawn back. I don't know. He's using a bit of time here. Maybe there is a problem here. Okay, so what's going on here? The rook moves, say, to d3, knight d4, attacking knight and bishop. Knight takes, attacking bishop. Bishop moved in the ordinary scenario. Okay, do this anyway. Oh, why not knight c7? Oh. Alright, shall I accept to take that? So he's let me take that. I was thinking too much about knight d4. Was it a good move? He's tricking me. Was it a good move? Hey. Knight d4 instead, please. I'm sorry about Bishop c4, yeah, well, I don't want a stranded knight. I don't want a knight on a8. I want 1 pawn back, as I was saying earlier. I just want 1 pawn back. Okay, d3, isn't he weak with d3? No, okay. What about g4? Knight b5? Knight b5, nope. d3. Oh, his rook's protecting his bishop. I think I'm losing the plot now. Okay, d3 or rooks. No, my rooks are still not doing anything. What about knight b? Is my back row really that weak? I'm going to use the centre pawns. I've got to get this bishop out of prison. Okay, I don't think it's too much. Is this b6? Why is he leaving b6 and free? I don't know if this is some marathon thing he's doing. Okay, I'll give him a take that. I don't know what's going on now. Okay. It's forking the rooks. Oh, I see. It's forking the rooks. Okay, I've got it now. I'm completely stopped. Okay, yes. Oh, I don't know. The rooks are forked. Yes. Okay, that wasn't. I think I resign here gracefully now. This is the time to resign. Okay, I think I've had enough. Yeah. I think I resign. Well played. He says, "Good game, well played." He's great. He's great to play on the ICC. I just can't play against him. That's all. Psychologically, if nothing else, even without the chess, just psychologically against someone like this, you know, it's just very, very hard to get in gear. Just start rejecting all plans. You start being quite good game, well played. Okay, let's stop there, and I'll just upload this, or c5. So d3 was weak. Unfortunately, it's b3 is weak. c5 sort of counterplay. At least I got rid of the bishops. That's the key blunder. But you know, what do I do about b3? Do I play knight c1? I suppose knight c1 moves back. He's just ready for doubling rooks. Very, very passive pieces. I don't know, this bishop in particular is a misery. Look at this kind of Maroczy kind of bind almost. It's just such a bind on d3, and the rooks are just so much more natural with black here. So this was just the end of the game, really. So he offered this. If we look at that other continuation, where did that fork occur? So that fork here, he invited knight c7. So bishop c4. Oh, I see. I do get out. So I take. He takes. I get out of here with knight c7. But the knight's kind of stranded there, isn't it? The bishop can stop the knight. He's got the pawn here. He can get this kind of armada position. Maybe rook c1, b5, then b3 later. Okay. Comments or questions on YouTube?